The swamp just won. If you're not into finance, if you're not into politics, this definitely isn't the place for you, but it should be, because our country is imploding right now. And a decision that the Senate just made is very important to our national security, not only physical security, but also our economic security. Our politicians are running amok, and this is insane. I remember years ago, everybody chanting, "Drain that swamp." And the problem was that America put its eyes on one man to do it, but we weren't doing it ourselves. We weren't truly heeding the warnings. We were just listening to them and cheering on one person. And we put way too much confidence in one man. Type 1 if you agree. The reason why I say that is because the story I'm going to tell you, many people have become accustomed to, because it's so normal. It's so every 6 months or 8 months this comes up and it just gets resolved. This is what happened. The government was about to get shut down once again, just like it always does. And the old term, they kicked the can down the road. But this time is different. The Senate, and this story is out of Zero Hedge, and I want you to please truly heed this warning, because not only can it save your family, because the government is not here to help you. Those are what Ronald Reagan said were the most dangerous words ever. Hello, we're from the government and we're here to help. And it's very, very true. It's more true today than it was when Reagan said it in the 80s. Out of Zero Hedge, this story is entitled "The Swamp Wins." Senate approves a $1.2 trillion spending bill, narrowly averting government shutdown. We're in a moment where our politicians are running amok and doing whatever they want. For heaven's sakes, there's even been cocaine found in our White House. We are at a moment where there is it seems like there's no rule of law going on in the government. And the entire world is watching us. We are on the grand stage. We are hyperinflating our currency. We just printed $1 trillion in the past 100 days to keep afloat, to keep this image of what's going on in the world up. At the end of the movie, or the book, The Wizard of Oz, it was Toto, ironically, the dog, while everyone was freaking out. Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Lion, they're all freaking out. All different emotions that every single one of us go through in life. Every single one of us. I don't care how cool you think you are. You have fear. Everyone deals with it, right? They're all freaking out because this big green head is telling them how they should be, how they should act, they should think, all of that he's the great Oz. And it was the little dog that ran over and just exposed the tiny little man pulling the cables, right? Pulling the strings. Well, right now, the Toto of this world is social media. Social media is exposing what the mainstream media is hiding. And that is, we are hyperinflating our currency, moving into a hyperinflation. It is the death of the US dollar, and it will not go away, just so you know. It will just be continually destroyed. Prices will continually to go up until we have an epic crash. And you have the opportunity to get ready for it. It blows my mind. I remember the last day I walked out of my fire station. I said the exact same thing that I had said for the past 6, 7 years for sure, when I was getting really brazen with them. Before, I'd been warning them for 10 years, but I hadn't bought Bitcoin yet. And I said, as I walked out, I said, whatever you guys do, go buy Bitcoin, gold, and silver and get ready for what's coming. And they brushed it off. They brushed that same warning off in 2017. They brushed the same warning off in 2010. When I warned them about a flu coming in 2019 after it already came out of Wuhan, I warned them. I said, your lives are all about to be changed forever, and they are. They don't feel like it is, but it is. It has changed. And our government right now is hiding things. This is called a pork-filled bill because what they're doing is they give you all of these really good things. So let me show you here. These are some of the bullet points they say they just did for you. And I want you to do me a favor and type 1 if you believe they're straight up lying about this. They say that this bill with this $1.2 trillion lowers childcare costs for families and strengthens Head Start. It says it protects workers' rights and it helps ensure that they get paychecks that they have earned. Let me show you how the government's protecting your paychecks. They're saying things, they go to the companies and say, hey, you need to give them insurance, for anything over 32 hours. So the companies go, copy, we're going to give them 30 hours. So we work underneath it. They say, you need to give them more money per hour. So they say, copy, we're going to give them more money and we're going to lay 50% of them off. That's how they're protecting you, right? It says here, it invests in students at every stage of their education and sustains essential investments in our nation's public schools. Do you know what that actually means? We're going to give money to illegal immigrants to give them free college. We're going to give them free education. That's what it means, actually. You'll find this out in about 8 weeks from now, and it will be reported on this channel because this kind of crap fires me up. And if you understand that this to be true, then hit the subscribe button and the bell notification and do me a favor and sign up for that free newsletter because it'll make sure that you get all these videos that some people do not want coming out because they don't want, because I'm not the brightest bulb in the box. I'm not. But I do have a level of logic that it seems like there are a certain group of people in our nation do not have. It says here that this bill is going to keep our country safe and support our service members and military families. Shout out right now if you're a veteran that is having a hard time getting finance right now through the VA for your medical conditions. Because I talk to people all the time that are amazing men and women that have served our country, given an ultimate sacrifice, and they can't even get medical. But oh, no problem. This time is different, your politicians say. I don't believe that at all. Type 2 if you're a military veteran that's having a hard time, or you know somebody that's having a hard time right now. But all of a sudden it's going to support them, right? Remember that the president right now, Jeff Morgan, used as blackmail the southern border. If you don't give me the money I need to support 2 wars that have nothing to do with us. And I'm telling you, the support he wants is on the opposite side of what you think. To protect his interests, then he'll support the border wall. Are you kidding? He doesn't even want to secure our borders. He goes after states like Texas that want to stand up and protect their own border, which in turn protects ours. Thank you, Governor Abbott, for doing everything you can. I saw that riot the other day where service members of the Texas State National Guard were being overrun by migrants. This is dangerous. We have migrants that are beating up police officers in New York and then flipping off the cameras when the New York district attorney needs to be put in prison. They are criminals because they don't want to prosecute crimes. They are doing the opposite of their job. Do you agree with that? Says here, this is to support people's health, strengthens the healthcare workforce, and guards against public health threats. Well, there's a measles outbreak that we haven't seen in decades right now coming from immigrants, and it's all over our country. That's being kept out of the mainstream media. If you don't understand how serious this is, and I'm not saying the measles is going to overrun our country, but what I'm telling you is they're providing free healthcare for these immigrants. I pay for my own healthcare. How many people here pay for their own healthcare? See, they're making it look like this is for you, the tax-paying American that works in our country, that whether you were born here or you're born somewhere else and came over here and did all of the necessary steps. I have friends from Mexico, Guatemala, and Honduras that have actually came over here. They're working in construction, working in the restaurant industries. They did all their stuff. They went and got their visas. They did everything legal. You see, if you and I go over to Europe right now, they're on us within weeks. Where's your visa? Are you on an extended vacation? We need a visa for that. Are you working here? We need a visa for that. Weird they do that with us. They're not doing it with immigrants. I just got to claim asylum. We've had times where I've known someone that had to sneak over the border in Mexico because they couldn't get over. They're American citizen. You could easily look them up in a database at the airport. I lost my passport. Sorry, you're not coming in. You're like, here, how about this? You got all this facial recognition crap all over that we got to go through in TSA. Why don't you scan my face right now? It's going to pop right up. I'll tell you my address. I'll give you my social security number. I'll even give you my driver's license. Nope, you can't come in. So they got to go outside and come right in with everybody else. This is what that money is being spent for. This is your money being spent. Type 10 if it enrages you that a politician comes in not having a net worth of anything and within a handful of years is worth $10 million. And you're going, that's weird because you're only getting paid $150 to $250 a year to do your job. How are you all of a sudden making this money? Oh yeah, you're actually out there doing insider trading. You know what Martha Stewart went to prison for. You are not only doing insider trading, you get to vote on the future of companies in our country. Oh, and check this out. Here's the truth, and this should stinking enrage you. The law states that if a politician does a trade, they have to disclose a stock trade, financial trade, they have to disclose it to the public within a certain amount of days. I want to say it's 28 days. If they don't do it within that amount of days, they have to pay an $80 fine. This is an antiquated rule. It was made a long time ago when $80 was a big deal. So now there are people that actually make a crap ton of money doing the Pelosi trade because they just follow her trades that she finally tells everybody after most of the money's already been made, the big move's been made. So you could see what's going on here. This is absolutely insane. Some more things that are in this $1.2 trillion bill that, by the way, I just want you to know, this is a government spending bill. This is different than the $1 trillion that was printed in the last 100 days, okay? This is just to keep us going for another, 6 months? Another 6 months. This is how serious this is. Think about this. We have gold right now on an all-time high, and I don't care if it's off by 20 bucks. People are like, people try and be so smart sometimes. Gold an all-time high. Bitcoin an all-time high. You've got stock market an all-time high, but what people don't realize is the reason why it's at an all-time high is because we're moving into hyperinflation. See, people are searching for yield as we are battling with a nationwide inflation epidemic situation. And all throughout history, every time we go into a hyperinflation, the stock market never keeps up with the real rate of inflation being the necessities in life. Energy, food. These are the most important things. Venezuela, the stock market went up like 19,000% or something like that during their last hyperinflation. I want to say food went up like 24,000% or something like that. So are you really winning? Are you really winning? I used to tell people in 2010, there's an event coming in the future. I used to go around and they all thought I was nuts. Of course they did, right? I said, there's an event coming where we're going to be strapped with inflation. Get ready now. Start to store food. And I told them how to store food. I said, you'll beat the stock market averages with food at this certain point. And it's already started. The percentages of the indices going up is not as much as the percentage of canned food going up. You even now are in a moment where dollar stores are going out of business. They're having to shut down because they can't even stay up with their name, right? We're in a moment where if you have a certain amount of food, because it's going to hit a fever pitch and it's going to get nutty. And I believe this all culminates around the next election. Type 11 if you agree with me. Because they are so scared. The powers that be are so scared. And I want to remind you, too, of all these vote riggings and ballot stuffings and stuff like that. Do you know, they thought they were going to win in 2016 and they didn't. It was by an act of God. I truly believe that. And I believe another one of those are coming. But here's the thing. It's going to get really nutty. How many of you are ready and excited to take advantage of this? All throughout modern history, we've never had a coming recession where, we had people that warned. We had foreshadowing. We had people that warned. Peter Schiff was out there. There's other people, economists that warned, hey, things are getting irrationally exuberant. Even, at the time, Greenspan warned Congress. about the irrational exuberance of the .com bubble. But the thing is that because we didn't have social media, we didn't have the amount of reach into people's homes that we do now. And so this is the first time in his modern history where we have the ability to take in all this information and do something about it. I know a gentleman, really good friend of mine, he told me, he said, if it wasn't for me, and this isn't tooting my horn, it's just because I was the only one speaking about things like this. If it wasn't for me constantly berating him to get ready, buy gold, buy Bitcoin, buy silver, get ready for this, he says, I would have nothing. And he goes, now I'm looking at the value of all that going up. And it's absolutely crazy. I used to tell people, because we're talking right now in this video about this new $1.2 trillion spending package, and it's a big deal. Even though it's just kicking the can down the road, a lot of people say, how many people know those cool people in life that just like to do this, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not worried. And all that is a front, because when they go home, they're scared crapless. And then you watch them after that next recession, and they lose everything. It's like the people in the church that I used to warn. They haven't gone anywhere. They're all still renting. They're all still making it paycheck to paycheck 12, 15 years later. If they would have started getting ready and buying, certain things, assets, and preparing, and they'd have a much better peace of mind, and they would be rich. But that's not what the government wants you to know. They want you to know things like this, and this is more things that they're telling you. And I'm telling you right now, this money is going to feed and prepare an army that's coming across the border right now. Please understand that. It's here. We have millions and millions of fighting age men that are in our country that are already wreaking havoc. This isn't women and children. I believe that we are to take care of the women and children of this world. This isn't that. You see the lines at the border. Look at the overrunning the other day in Texas of the Texas National Guard. Those are all men. Those are all fighting age men. They were aggressive. You look at the mainstream media and they come out with helicopters or drone footage or they're walking the lines. You see any men and women or women and children in there? No, you don't. And they're not just coming from Mexico. They're coming from all over. This is very serious. I believe this to be a clarion call. And when the government comes out with a spending package like this to avert a government shutdown, we need a government shutdown. We need less government and more people. The government is not for us. This says here, it propels cutting-edge biomedical research to discover and create new treatments and cures. Do any of you remember, type 13 if you do you remember when Obama was president, him and Biden shaking hands in the halls of Congress when they just funded a bat experiment program out of Wuhan? I remember watching that live. I know I watch weird stuff. I'm not sitting on Netflix all the time. I watched that. And I remember in me, I didn't know much about it, really, but I didn't get a good feeling. And then you watch a decade later or more what comes out, and you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, they were funding research. Well, we've got to make these evil bio weapons so we know how to cure them. Are you? I actually had someone the other day say that, oh, no, we've got to fund this research. We've got to, because I'm like, they're actually creating diseases. Oh, we've got to do that. I'm like, are you high? What is wrong with you? Oh, no, we've got to create new things that hurt people so we know how to cure them. Are you high? And how many times out of the CDC do you see, oh, yeah, crap, anthrax is gone. Or how about this? Oh, yeah, that got leaked. Oh, weird. Oh, we just closed it. When did it happen? 6 months ago. What the heck didn't you tell us right away? Well, because that's what they do. But hey, there's more funding for that. That's good. It says here, protects consumers and holds fraudsters and rich tax cheats accountable. So you know what that actually means? We're going to hire more. We've already hired, 45,000 or something, some odd IRS agents. Oh, by the way, remember, the job opening says that you will be carrying a weapon and may need to use deadly force. Well, let me share something with you. Everybody thinks that's for the ultra wealthy. It's not. It's for the people that make over 100 grand. because there's more tax cheats in that group. Why? Because there's more of them than the ultra wealthy. You don't need 45,000 agents to go after a very, very small group of people. Just, you don't need that. You need it to go after the masses. You shut them down. This is no joke. I'm gonna end this story here, but I'm gonna humbly ask you to get ready. Not for me, and not only for you, but for our country. There is a lot to be done, and there's amazing opportunities, but not if it's just me or just a handful of us. It has to be the people that take this back. The banks are consolidating right now. Companies are consolidating. This is getting serious. It's getting real. And, 2008, the too big to fail got even bigger. Many people lost their homes. Many people lost their jobs. Some of them are back in homes. All of them have their jobs back again. And they think, oh, it's all right. But the wealth is being robbed. The whole world's watching this. And the government is printing insane amounts of money. I believe that by the end of the year, you're going to see a month where we could possibly print $1 trillion in 1 month just to keep this deception going. But I want you to understand, the Greeks, the Chinese, the Romans, even the British, they never thought it would end until it did. And that was when they ran the world. It's not always been America. We're the rookies on the block. And we're going to go down in history as the shortest lived empire in history. The torch will be handed off to what I believe is a group of nations called the BRICS nations. And it's because this reset's going to involve gold. So here's the question. Type 14 if you own any gold or any silver coins at all. I'm just curious. I think it's important because it's truly God's money. And when you put them in your hand and you just sort of take one and drop it on the other, the frequency that comes out of that, it does something to you. It really does. You got to try it for yourself. It may cost you $50 to go get yourself 2 silver coins, 2 pure silver coins. Put one in your palm and then drop another one on it and just feel it. Then ask yourself a question. Why don't I have more of it? It's not financial advice. It's in the Constitution. At this point, I think it's life advice. Hope you got something out of this. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody that's hitting the subscribe button. Even if they get unsubscribed, smack it again, hit the bell icon, and tell the algo where to shove it. The Economic Ninja is out.